going to turn the radio off. Forever fishing, working whenever is what the t-shirt says, but I don't fish no more. Only if I was starving, because I can't kill the poor fishy. So that's where you go, I guess, when you get in touch with things. I knew somebody that couldn't even walk on grass. A lot of people can't even walk on grass because they might kill a bug or something. So it's when you start awakening, it's pretty wild. So what I did today was I wanted to talk to you about radio, because that's what the last paragraph on page 5 says in our book. And then I also wanted to talk about radio because I listened to 103.1 KDFM 24/7, except for when Ann screams at night, Monday through Friday, 7 till midnight. And the reason I do that is because I listen to a lot of my old favorite songs. It's the 80s, 90s, and today. And the other reason is I learn new songs. Okay, so I'm going to mention a song that you may all know, but I don't know. And I hear it a lot on Katie. And I finally decided to just tell you about it. And it's going to be the last song on my playlist for March. It's by Ty Bachman. No idea who he is. And it's called She's So High. What an awesome song. And it mentions Cleopatra and Joan of Arc, and she puts on her angel outfit in the video, and it is just awesome. She's So High by Ty Bachman. Okay, so now the paragraph says, we're talking about the allegory of the cave. So if you guys did not do your homework and you didn't look up Allegory of the Cave by Plato, it's just basically the story about the shadows on the cave, where people believe what they see. And I didn't probably give that a good enough description. So if you just Google Allegory of the Cave by Plato, you will get the full description. So this understanding contradicts conventional physics. How can many parallel realms and dimensions exist occupying the same space all at the same time? The answer lies in the way television and radio work. If we think of how a range of different television and radio waves exist all around us, occupying the same space at the same time, then we may fathom how various ranges and frequencies outside the range of our own ultraviolet infrared wavelength can coexist also simultaneously. So science is a mouthful, but think about how radio and television work. All right. And that's how the other dimensions can work. Right now, you could be in Pennsylvania and you could Google Katie 103.9 or 101.3, because they have two numbers. And you can get KDFM playing in your house. And I'm here in California and I can be listening to it. Wild, huh? Okay, that's how the other dimensions work. Now, remember when I said I was Rebecca Booby 11 because I'm on 11 different dimensions besides this one? Ishmael Perez just talked about that in his latest video. So if you haven't watched his latest video, you'll want to listen to that because he tells you right out we're on 12 different dimensions. I just listened to Janine, and she talked about the moon being a space station. Now, I've said all this stuff before these people have put it into my ear, but I love hearing it because I love people understanding what I understand. So that doesn't make us right, okay? So I don't want to get into any debates. All I'm saying is that I can connect with Janelle, uh, Janine, and that's how I met Ishmael, was through Janine. I can relate with Ishmael. I can relate with this radio frequency. Okay, so that's what's going on right now, is that we are on 12 dimensions all at once. So that's why it's hard to answer questions for people. And I let Ishmael do that. I tell you to take the class. Susan did, and she loved it. She had her first class yesterday. Study the book, because I'm not here to answer questions. I'm here to just yap like I just did for the last 5 minutes. And I'm here to read the energy. Now, they told me, who's they, my spirit guides, that they wanted me to take all my cards and put them out and read the bottom card because they have a message for us with all the bottom cards. So they're still in their rubber bands. And I got the bottoms of all the decks, right? And then they said the ones that come with books, they want me to read a little bit out of the book. So this may be a little longer video. And if you don't have enough time, you can always come back. You can pause it. That's what's cool about this channel too. I was thinking about that yesterday. When I used to go to the meetings, the AA meetings, right? And I used to talk and teach those books, you didn't record it. So at the end, they started recording our testimonies with our permission and then putting them on CDs. But in the beginning, in 1995 till probably, I don't know what year it was, up until probably 2000 something, whatever, I lose track of time. But we would go into the room and we would talk, like you'd all be sitting in the room with me, right? So again, it would have to be local and you'd have to live in that area. And it was for an hour and you only talked for about 5 minutes and no one probably remembered half of what you said, if you even got to talk. So you see what I'm saying? It was like, this is so cool because you can pause it. You can look up the things I've told you to look up, the allegory of Plato. You can check out the radio station that I listen to 24/7, except for Anne the Screamer. Okay, very irritating voice. You'll want to turn it off, and talking about just bullshit when you don't need to. Anyways, it's just sad because the station is so awesome and I listen to it with like 5 different radios all day long. And then at 7 o'clock at night, she comes on and just starts her bullshit. So I don't know. That's just the way it goes. Everything can't be perfect, right? But anyway, so we're going to continue on. I've already talked 10 minutes and gave you a lot of information. The affirmation today is laugh at yourself and get a new perspective. Okay? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and let the kitty sit up here. Go ahead. There you go. And the first card out is death. Okay? It's a transition. It's an ending. Okay? The death card on the bottom of this deck. So the overall energy, what they wanted me to tell you about is think of everything that I'm telling you in this next reading here, this next part of the video here. Think of everything as we're ending one belief, we're ending one kind of thinking, and we're going into another kind of thinking, okay? So the next card is the Lovers. So, what are we doing differently in the love department? Yesterday, I told you that when you finally get to where you just love yourself, you don't care anymore who's coming in and who was in your past. You're just moving forward with your plan. That's when you know you've got to the right spot where you can. No One Like You by Scorpions. That was my ringtone. Someone was calling me from Wisconsin. So we'll check that out later. Um, No One Like You by the Scorpions and She's So High. So those are the two songs today that we'll deal with later. But this new way of thinking, okay? So before we were going through heartbreak or living in the past too much, then we went into the shadow, which is next. The next card after the lovers is shadow. All right. So, and it comes with a book, so I'm going to read a little. When we were in that shadow part, when we were in the shadow part, we're trying our hardest to get past the hurt and take all of our past as a karmic lesson, right? Okay, that's what we're trying to do. So then we did it, okay? Then we did it, and what happened was we got a new perspective on things. That's where we want to be. But let's go through this. I'm jumping ahead of myself. So shadow says, this card signifies shadow, shadow work, shadow secrets, or anything found in the dark and hidden. It also shows strength, magic, and mysticism. Ooh, Miss Mystic likes that. It's showing that the truth is not to be found on the surface, and it urges you to go deeper, to find out what you need right now. That's what the shadow work was. And remember, we're talking about the love department. Okay? That's what this reading's about. All right? Now, the other card that came out was Do What You Say. So, what do I mean by that in this reading is when you decided to ascend and you decided to walk away from the past, the 8 broken cups, when you decided to heal and do your shadow work, there were decisions to make. 2 of Swords. Okay? There were decisions to make. So you Do What You Say said, I'm going to heal. I'm going to move forward. I'm not going to stay in this yuck. I'm going to find me my person, and I'm going to finish my mission, is what hopefully you were saying, okay? Or I have my person, and I am going to now finish this mission. So you're doing what you're saying, and you're making decisions. You're making decisions now. The next card out comes with a book. It's from St. Michael, and he says, you created the situation and you have the power to change it. So what's he mean by that? Okay? He says, this card is a reminder that you are a powerful creator. You were made in the image and the likeness of the divine creator. You're not a passive victim. You have the right and the skills to rise above and change everything in your situation and your relationship. However, as long as you blame others or believe that they're controlling you, you'll remain stuck. But by calling upon God and Archangel Michael and then taking charge according to your guidance, you can change everything in miraculous ways. Let go of the blame toward yourself or others. Write down a list of action steps and then follow through with 1 or more per day. Have an honest discussion with the other person in the situation. Take 1 or more steps today towards turning your dreams into reality. Give yourself permission to make healthful life changes. Thank you for letting me lean on your strength and for reminding me of my personal power. Please guide me to manifest and heal according to divine will, creating peace and blessings for everyone involved. So that was what St. Michael wanted me to tell you. Now, most of us could be past the Two of Swords decision, and we're where I'm at, where I am moving straight forward and everything's behind now. But some of you aren't there yet. Some of you are still in the shadow work. Some of you are still in the decision making. Some of you are still trying to do what you say, okay? But St. Michael's saying that you created it. Now, we talked at length about the soul contract. We've had a couple nights in our Akashic Records. I've been there answering questions and helping you rewrite your soul contract. So thank you for being there in Astro. I won't be there every night, but I have delegated people that will be there for you. So we're doing the work. We're doing the work. We're doing good, okay? Now, the Two of Pentacles, they wanted me to switch books. This is the Light Seer deck, Two of Pentacles, but they wanted me to use the Rider-Waite book. So that's what I mean about listening to the Spirit. It's totally different than what you're wanting to do. And once you get in tune with it, you'll see how you flow with the Spirit. You flow with the Spirit and you're not doing your own. So when anybody compliments me or cuts me down, either way, it's like, well, it doesn't matter to me. Talk to my higher self and my guides, because that's how obedient I am. Okay, so the Two of Pentacles from the Rider-Waite book says, a young man in the act of dancing has a pentacle in either hand, and they are joined by the endless cord, which is like the number 8 reversed. Okay, it says it is representative of a card of gaiety, recreation, and its connection, which is the subject of design. But it is read also as news and messages in writing, such as obstacles, agitation, trouble, embroilment. In reversed, it's enforced gaiety, simulated, what's it called? Sorry, guys. Simulated enjoyment, literal sense, handwriting, composition, letters of exchange. So what they're telling me is they're telling me that you're going to get some kind of news with the Two of Pentacles, okay? Even though I'm not reading it from the right book, that's what they want me to tell you. So you're going to get some kind of news that's going to help you to change the situation. It's going to help you rewrite your soul contract. Let me give you an example. You're married and you're really happy with that person, and you find out that the person's cheating on you. And you're like, I ain't putting up with it, okay? I'm not putting up with somebody cheating on me. Well, there is a good reason to rewrite your soul contract. You go into the Akashic Records, you rewrite the contract, you come back to this dimension, and you go through the assignment of getting the divorce, all that kind of stuff, okay? Because this dimension requires that. Every dimension will require something different, and we're in 12 different dimensions. So each dimension will require something else. but it's huge because you were planning on staying with that person forever until the end of this world mission, right? Until we go to our next big assignment, right? At least you were going to stay that long together, and that person blew it. Or that person has a gambling problem or an alcohol problem that is affecting you in so many ways that you can't deal with it. These are all grounds for eviction. Okay? Whether the Bible says you're not supposed to get divorced or not, you can't take the Bible word for word, and we're not going to get into all of that. But your ancestors are helping you, okay? The ancestors are helping you in every realm. So just like St. Michael said, to lean on him and to have him help you, your ancestors are saying the same. Now the Hierophant is the last card out. And Fluffy is at the door again. Hi, Fluffy. Hi, Fluffy. Fluffy came again to our reading. It's a big, long-haired coon cat, but it was a baby, and now it's probably a year old. Hi, Fluffy. I put pictures out on the titles here and there for you of Fluffy outside. Okay, so the Hierophant is the last card out. It's the highest ranking you can get in these cards because it's all four queens and all four kings, whether you're girl or guy, right? No gender in tarot. So it's the Pope. And I don't like saying the Pope. I know I just said that, but the Pope is a way of explaining it to a church, but I don't like saying that because the Pope is not a good person. And religion is not a good thing. So I'm sorry to tell you that, guys. But it's the intent. So when I was in all these different religions, it was the intent of my heart. But they were sucking my energy underneath in the tunnels, and I didn't realize that. So when I did realize that, I got out of going to buildings. I got out of religion, and I am Miss Mystic, okay? But at the time, I didn't know, and even if I knew, it was my karmic assignment. I had to go to these places to clear up some assignments. So I did my assignments and let them suck my energy, I guess you would say, but didn't let them destroy me. Okay, so now that you're at the Hierophant level, or that's where you're going, is the Hierophant level. That's the level where I told you you're walking down this path where I am right now, and you're just saying, it don't matter, I'm going forward. When my twin is ready, we will connect. You're no longer manifesting. You've already put it out there. You're like at the restaurant where you're waiting for your food to come, but in the meantime, while your food's being cooked, you're still having a conversation, you're still enjoying the atmosphere, you're still going to the restroom, you're still doing your stuff while the cook and the waitress are doing their thing. So it says, I am my own hero, and the guidance I need is rooted in my faith, my belief, and my unique essence. That's what makes me Miss Mystic. That complete sentence there. Okay, so the Hierophant says, as you search for your divine truth, you create frameworks of belief that help you expand your consciousness, and it grounds your faith into reality. If you've been stuck in an old tradition or a structured way of acting or being that is no longer serving you, it's time to let it fall away in order to make space for a better version of you. Exactly what I just said. The Hierophant serves us as a gateway between the divine source and the seeker. So be open to new ideas. They call it paragrams, perspectives, and teachers in your life. So be open. Look to the patterns around you and strive to understand your own internal compass. Know that while there is wisdom in teachings of the mystics, the voice of your own heart is the one voice that matters the most. Find the wisdom of the heavens within. So what a great ending, huh? The Hierophant card. We forgot one. So it isn't the last one. We forgot one, and we forgot the Empress, number 3. She was screaming back there saying, hey, don't forget about me. So we got the Empress and the Hierophant, Mary, Mother of Jesus. And I got that right there for you. So what's it say, the Empress? Nurturing, maternal energy, creation, fertility, strength in gentleness, intuition and emotional depths, protection and comfort. Now, here's the only warning that I'm going to give you. You know, I always give you a warning in all of my readings. There was lots here, okay? But the warning is you do not want to become too overprotective or smothering in anything. You do not want to neglect self-care. You need to have your emotions in balance or your dependency in balance. Do not block your own creativity or futility, and do not lose your connection with your intuition. So by not taking care of yourself, by depending on others, by not going within and using your intuition and having your ancestors and Saint Michael help you, by listening to others, that's going to be the downfall. So take care of yourself, stay in balance, right? Don't let others tell you what to do. I'm just reading the energy, right? I gave you a little science lesson. I've talked to you about music. I've talked to you about this whole transition of the lovers is what this reading was about, right? The only warning is you yourself. You get in your own way. You get in your own way, right? You get in your own way by, oh, what do other people think? Oh, I can't do that. That's outside the box. We have to be outside the box. Just like me, when I do my readings, they're always different. I don't know what I'm going to say. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I do it because I am connected to me. I am connected to me, my higher self. I'm on 12 different dimensions. This is my life now. It always wasn't like that. We go through stages, okay? We do our shadow work. We make our decisions. We repaint our canvas. What was that Two of Pentacles about again? I want to read it out of the right book this time. Okay, even though they told me to. I create an equilibrium in my life that allows me to be my best self. So that's what, again, you have to create that equilibrium. With all those rules and responsibilities that you've been juggling, you may be feeling a little imbalanced. Busy much? Maybe your calendar is totally overbooked and you're feeling the stress of being attached and stretched in too many directions. Okay, so again, that's just talking about that balance that I keep bringing up that is one of your downfalls. Not taking care of yourself, listening to what other people say instead of doing what you say, right? So we're going into the Empress and the Hierophant for the last 2 cards. Mary Mother energy and the Hierophant. Now, can you see why they wanted me to take all the bottom cards and do a reading? You always can see at the end what the purpose of what they're telling you to do is, but so many of us don't get to the end because we're too busy doing what we want, not what the Spirit says. And I know it's hard. It's hard to go against the grain. When I was in AA and I decided to start teaching AA, they gave me a whole different way of teaching the big book that I said, you've got to be kidding me. Everybody starts in the beginning and goes to the end of the books. And they said, well, you wanted to learn how to teach this correctly, then we'll show you how. So I had to start on pages 60 to 64 in the big book instead of the first pages. And that was weird, right? But I did it. And I got the whole format given to me in the next decade. And, it was awesome. And it was the right way to teach it through the Spirit. Not that there's a right and a wrong way. I'm just saying that it was my way of being able to teach it the way they wanted me to teach it. So I had to get out of my comfort zone and I had to start on pages 60 to 64 instead of how everyone else taught it, beginning to end. So there's an example of that. So, okay, well, we're over a half hour, you guys. What a great reading. I'm glad I listened. I am Miss Mystic. Thank you for listening.